Hi, my name is Nikipirowicz and I have designed this hat for West Yorkshire spinners. This is a fabulous, quick and easy crochet project to do, perfect for beginners or for anyone who just likes a nice relaxing project to do. This hat uses one ball of the scrumptious West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat Super Chunky. It starts off with the rib, which is worked in rows. Then we move on onto the body of the hat, which is worked in rounds. And then we finish off with simple decreases and of course a pom-pom. Before we start, please do like, share and subscribe. And don't forget the pattern is in the description below. And let's get started. To make the hat, you will need the following. 2 sizes of crochet hooks, 1 in 9mm, 1 in 10mm, small scissors, tapestry needle with an eye big enough to feed the yarn through. If you would like to add the pom-pom, then the pom-pom maker. My one is 85mm in diameter. And of course, the lovely squishy ball of yarn, West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat Super Chunky. Let's get started. We will start the hat with the ribbing. For that we will need the smaller hook, which is the 9mm one, and we will start by making 9 chains. So make your slip knot and 9 chains. So yarn around the hook and pull it through your loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. You see, so all those V's, it's 1 chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. So we will start by working 1 double crochet into the 2nd chain from hook. Now I will be working in UK terminology. In US, double crochet is a single crochet. So insert your hook into the top leg of your chain, yarn around the hook and pull it through that loop. So we have 2 loops on our hook, then yarn around the hook and pull it through both. So that's 1 stitch made. So now we're going to go into every single chain to end. So in, yarn around the hook, pull it through, 2 loops on hook, yarn around the hook, pull it through both. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So if you look on top of your stitches have formed those gorgeous V's. So each V is 1 stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So we've got 8 V's now. From now on we will work into the back loop of every single stitch, but to start we will chain 1 to give us a correct height, and we will insert a hook into the back leg of our V. So you see, this is the front leg, this is the back leg, so only into the back leg of our V. So 1 and make a double crochet. See, so we're leaving the front legs of our stitch unworked. And again into the back leg of every single stitch. So the back loop, shall I say, of every single stitch. Okay, you see? So we've got this kind of little ridge here. So now we're going to turn our work. We're going to again chain 1. And again, we're going to work into the back loop of every single stitch. So this is what we're going to repeat over and over again until altogether we have 42 rows. So working into back loop of every single stitch on every single row and making sure we chain one at the beginning of the row to give us the correct height. And we continue that until we have 42 rows altogether. So carry on with that, and I see you back here when all our ribbing is complete. So when your ribbing is finished, it should look like this. So we ended our ribbing on the right side. So now what we're going to do is join those two ends together to form a nice little big loop. We are going to do this by slip stitching our two sides. So chain one, going into the back loop of your stitch, and pick up the chains that we have made when starting our work. Grab your yarn, so yarn around the hook and pull it through both of those stitches and through the loop on your hook. So now again, into the back loop of our stitch and into the chain of our foundation row, and pull it through and through the loop on your hook. So we're going to do this until all the stitches and chains are worked. Then the last one here. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to start the body of our hat. So we will be working in a continuous spiral, which means you will need a stitch marker to denote the beginning of the round. So change to 10mm hook. So put that one aside now, you won't need it anymore. Use your 10mm hook. So now what we are going to do, we're going to work 42 double crochets all the way along our rib into the ends of our rows. So we're going to chain one just for this one because we want a nice little height. So chain one. So now you can see here we've got a nice little end here, this space here. So we're going to insert a hook into it, yarn around the hook and pull it through. 2 loops on hook, yarn around the hook and pull it through both of those loops. Now here we've got one strand and a space, and we've got another space underneath with a double strand. What I usually do, I insert my hook under the second strand purely because it's a bit more stable. It's not so loopy and gappy. It just gives you a bit more like tightness to your work. So that's 2, and again we're gonna do this one here. So basically one row, one end of row we insert a stitch. So we do this until we have 42 stitches all the way around the top of our rib. So now that this is done, your work should look like this. Make sure you count your stitches again to make sure you've got your 42 stitches all the way around. So now what we're going to do, we're going to start the body of our hat, so the main part of our hat, which is work simply in double crochets on every single round. We will work in continuous spiral, as I mentioned before, which means that you will not slip stitch to join your round or chain one at the beginning of the round. So let's just work the first double crochet. So this is the first stitch. So we will go straight into it and create a double crochet into it. This time we're going through both loops of our stitch. So you see, so we're going through the full V of our stitch. Grab your yarn around the hook and pull it through both of those loops on your hook. Now I want you to grab your stitch marker, place it on your first stitch. This will denote the beginning and the end of your round. So as you're working, you will move this marker every time you start a new round. It's just a nice and simple way of keeping the number of rows in check. So again, all we're going to do is just work double crochet into every single stitch, and we're going to do this for 11 rounds. And I see you back here when the 11 rounds are completed. So when you finish your 11 rounds, your work should look like this. So let's count them together. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 rounds altogether. So now we are ready for our first decrease round. So remove your marker and work 1 double crochet into this stitch. Replace the marker, so that's the beginning and end of our round. So we've got 1, so we need to do 4 more double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to work double crochet 2 together. So insert your hook into the next stitch, grab your yarn and pull it through, 2 loops on hook, insert your hook into the following stitch, grab your yarn and pull it through. So now we have 3 loops on hook, yarn around the hook and pull it through all 3. So we have decreased by 1 stitch. So now we're going to do again 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again we're going to do double crochet 2 together. So in the next stitch, grab the yarn and pull it through. Into the following stitch, grab the yarn and pull it through. 3 loops on hook, yarn around the hook and pull it through all 3. And again we're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and double crochet 2 together. 1 double crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oops. And double crochet 2 together. 1 and 2. And again into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And double crochet 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you see our repeat is ending with double crochet 2 together, because this is the end of our round here. So double crochet 2 together, and this is the end of our round. So now we should have 36 stitches all around. So count all your stitches, make sure you've got 36. And the next round is just a simple double crochet round. Nothing fancy, no decreases, just again another simple double crochet round. So 1, replace your stitch marker and work 1 double crochet into every single stitch. Just a simple double crochet. So finish that and I will see you in a moment. So when we finish that, we've got 1 final row of decreases. 1 double crochet into the first stitch, replace your marker. Now 1 double crochet into the 3 more stitches. So we've got 1 here, so altogether it has to be 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 double crochets and then double crochet 2 together. 1, 2, and again 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and double crochet 2 together. 1 double crochet into the next 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and double crochet 2 together, and that is the end of our round, and we should have 30 stitches all together. So now what we are going to do, our hat is now finished. All we're going to do is gather all those stitches now to close up and bring in the crown of our hat. So cut a good length, I don't know, about 50 centimeters of your yarn. Pull it through, so grab your chain, well, your loop on your hook, and pull it out completely. You see, you can remove your marker now. Grab your tapestry needle, feed the end of your tail through that tapestry needle, and now what I want you to do is, like every other stitch, feed it through your hat. You see, so go in here and out. See, so you're leaving one stitch on work. So into the stitch and out a stitch over. Pull it through, and again that one. Let's miss this one and over. In and over, so all the way along. In and out. In and out. This all the way along. In and out. Okay, here we go. So now what we're going to do, we're going to pull tight to close up this whole opening, and insert your needle like a stitch over and down to the inside of your hat. Turn your hat inside out. And again, pull tight to close up the opening. And weave your needle around those stitches again, purely because to secure it a lot better, so you know that it's not going to unravel. This opening is not going to open up. Here we go. I think that will do nicely. And then again, weave in the end. So in and few around. Cut it off. And now what we are ready for, it's a lovely little pom-pom. So let's make the pom-pom together. So grab whatever you have left of your yarn. Grab your little gadget, your little pom-pom gadget. I love those pom-pom gadgets, they are fantastic. This one is by Knit Pro, it's a brilliant little gadget. Open up the first half, so the two parts of the first half. Grab your yarn. And just wind it around nicely until the first half is nice and full. Close it, cut the end, turn it around, open the second part, so open the second half, the two parts of the second half, and do exactly the same thing. And I think that's it. Close it. Cut your yarn, and now what you have to do is cut all along. So you see you've got your little like grooves here, you see. Take your scissors, very sharp scissors, and make sure you cut all the way along. And then onto the other half. Cut a good length of your yarn. No, let me just cut off those little ends, they're not necessary. Now, grab your yarn and insert it into the grooves that you have cut around. All the way. Tie it. Now, I want you to be careful. I don't want you to tug on this yarn too much. This is a roving yarn. So it's strong, but you know, don't go crazy with tugging on it. So then do a little knot and do this one more time. So go onto the other side. And again, do a little knot. Just to secure it nicely. 1 and 2. Double knots are always best, obviously. Now, so these are your 2 ends. So these are the ends you will need to attach your pom-pom to your hat. So now open up the little flippers. The beautiful thing about this yarn is not only wonderful to work with, it also creates fabulous pom-poms. Now give it a good shake. And now all you have to do is trim all the little ends and make sure it's nice and round. So give it a good trim all the way around. Voila! And now what you have to do is attach your pom-pom onto your hat. So grab your tapestry needle, take one of the tails, feed it through. What I like doing, I don't like going right through the center, I like going onto the side. So push it through. Oops. Now grab the other end and again do the same thing with the other end. Side and pull it through. And pull it through onto the other side. You see, so it's nicely on the other side of your first tail. And pull it through. Now, tie it in a knot. Then again, because you want your pom-pom to be nicely secured and not come out, go back again onto the right side and insert your needle through the middle. I don't know if you can see it. Insert your needle through the middle of your pom-pom, just so you grab some more. You go through the center again, just so it's a little bit more secured, so you know it's not gonna come off. Then onto the other side and on the other end, and again tie in another knot. And we can now weave in the end. So weave in the end around. We can go through the stitches here, so down and back on ourselves one more time. Cut it off, and let's do the same thing on the other side with the other end. And that's it. Your lovely little hat is finished. Hope you enjoyed this video and of course making the hat. If you do, then please like and subscribe to the video. Thank you so much.